Hello friends, how y'all doing? I wanted to do another video after a long hiatus. No, I did not fall in a hole like maybe you hoped I had. No, I know you didn't. But it's been a busy last month. So anyhow, you have some idea what's going on, but I wanted to just update you. With the help of friends, we moved down here to the campground about a month ago, and about 2 weeks ago we moved, with the help of friends again, we moved all of our belongings out of the shipping container, and we took it to a storage unit about 15 minutes from the farm, and it's probably about 10 minutes or less from where we live now. So we got the job done for the local zoning, so we're no longer living there, and we aren't storing our stuff in a shipping container. So anyhow, we also, about 2 weeks ago, we traded one of our old cars for another old car. No, not as old of a car, but we got a Toyota Prius. I'd been looking at them for, oh man, probably about 2.5 months, something like that, kind of thinking that may be the direction we want to go. We knew that come spring we were going to try to go down to one car there on the farm instead of having two cars, because if I'm working on the farm, we don't really need two vehicles. We can schedule, between Kendra and I, we can schedule one, because I'm at work. I don't have to have a vehicle to get to work. But then once we had to come down to the campground, now I have to travel back and forth, and so it gets really much trickier, and I don't want Kendra here without a vehicle when I'm up there, especially as I stay up there longer as it warms up. So we found a local one, and we were able to trade our old Highlander off on, and so now we have a car that uses gas and electric, which is really fun. I enjoy watching the diagram there that tells me where the energy is coming from and where it's going, and you know, whether it's running off the battery or battery and a gas engine, or whether it's actually charging the battery, or you know what. I enjoy. Maybe someday I'll get tired of that, but the first 300 whatever miles, I've loved watching that. The other thing is our internet service. We've had a hard time keeping internet service down here at the campground, and we don't have many options here. So we got it back again today, and hopefully this will be for a long time. But that really made it hard on different fronts. One was I couldn't upload YouTube videos. It was using the public Wi-Fi off the campground. It just won't upload them. It just would not. I think they have something that blocks it if you try to do major streaming. And I tried to do it in the middle of the night, and it wouldn't go anywhere. So that made it really hard to do videos without a good streaming ability up to YouTube. Yeah, and then it made it really tough for any kind of financial stuff that we wanted to do through the internet. You know, we just we can't trust the public Wi-Fi. So we're really glad to have internet back again as of today. Yay! We have settled very comfortably into living here at the campground. This really works really well for us. We like being around community. You know, we have neighbors that are from, I think, I forget if it was Kansas or Colorado, you know, are living in an RV, and you know, she's a traveling nurse, and so they travel. And the guy a couple spots down, he's lived here for 5 years. He was also from out there somewhere I think he was from Colorado, and the other folks were from Kansas. And the license plates on one of the other neighbors was Pennsylvania. So anyhow, it's a community of people from all over, and so we've enjoyed that. We've enjoyed when we do get to rub shoulders, and once it starts getting nicer out, I know there'll be more people, and we'll be able to rub a lot of shoulders. But what's really nice at this point is that we have water pressure all the time, and we don't have to haul water from our homemade collection system and then put it in our tank and then use the pump every time we need to use water. We also are hooked up to the sewer system, and so we just need to we dump the tanks about once a week, and it's something that Kendra can easily do. And so if something would happen and I couldn't be here, she'd be able to take care of that, and she won't have to deal with the potable water situation either, because we have water available, pressure all the time. We had to put insulation and a heat tape, line around the hose to keep it from freezing, but that was simple and easy. That was an easy fix. And the other thing we like here is, when we lived in Kansas and Missouri, the wind blew 25 hours a day. And it blew some days 25 hours a day up in the valley. Right now we're tucked right up against, in the woods, against the Blue Ridge Mountains, right behind us. And with the woods and with the mountains, that seems to protect us from a lot of wind. Every once in a while we'll get a little bit down here. The other night the storm came through and we actually experienced wind where we were hearing it against the trailer, but usually we don't even hear it. Living here has actually been very good, and we've enjoyed it a lot. Now the other side of that coin is what it means is I do a lot of traveling up to do chores, and it costs us a monthly rent fee, a lot fee to stay here, and then we have to also pay for the storage unit in Waynesboro. So our expenses, and more gas for the car, although with the Prius it won't take as much. So yeah, it means that we're discerning whether Kendra or myself or both of us get some part-time jobs to bring in some income to cover some of the expenses that we weren't really planning on in this stage of retirement, or pre-retire, or partial retirement, what do you want to call this. We're also evaluating the animal situation. Yes, we're keeping the animals we have. It'd be tempting some days to say, oh, I'll just get rid of them so I don't have to drive all the way up there. But the truth is, I want these animals. And the truth is, I want to grow the operation of sheep. And once it starts warming up, I want to be up there and start working on getting a different fencing situation so I can move the sheep from one pasture to another. It's called rotational grazing, because I want my sheep to mostly be fed from grass and not from grain and hay. Although, we had like 2 weeks, it was actually over about 18, 19 days where all I did was fed them hay and some grain, because we had so much snow and there was a hard crust on top, the sheep could not get to the grass. So we eventually were able to, we got a lot of rain at the end of last week, and then I was able to have the sheep eating grass again. So we're evaluating, do we naturally increase the herd, the flock, by the ewes we have, having lambs, and then when they have ewes, we'll use those to increase the crop, the amount of sheep, or do we go buy some ewes? And then that question brings up another question, which is, if we do buy more ewes, do I get registered fin sheep so that our registered rams can breed with them and we can have registered and sell breeding stock, which means then we have to be able to sell them as breeding stock if we want to make the money back, because to buy breeding stock that are fully registered costs more money for those ewes. I already have 2 rams that are registered, and the other 2 ewes are not. 2 fin ewes, and then my other 4 ewes, none of those. Those are a crossbreed of several things. None of those are registered, obviously, as purebred. But so anyhow, there's questions we're trying to figure out. Trying to figure out the future. You know, I'm getting experience with sheep. I've had a lot of experience already now, but I have a lot to learn. So, you know, I don't know if I want to increase the flock too quickly or whether I just get a couple of fin sheep ewes and increase it slowly. Another thing I wanted to tell you about is that a week and a half ago I set up a photo art gallery at Landis Homes in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. It's kind of near Lidditz and between Lidditz and Lancaster. It's a retirement community. They have an art gallery, and they change out their artists that show in that gallery every 2 to 3 months. I was scheduled to do one a year ago, starting February. I think that was a year ago, or else 2 years. I think it was a year. But because of COVID-19, they had to postpone it. So in December, I heard from Deb, the curator of that gallery, to see if I would be willing to put up a gallery, a 3-month gallery, February through April. And that's right when we had found out that we had to move off of the farm and had to also get all of our belongings out of the shipping container. And so about 25% of me said, no, there's no way I'll do that. Absolutely no way. The other 75% of me said, no, this is what I said, yes, this is what I want to do. I have the opportunity. I'm very, very busy, but you know, I went ahead and said yes, and the workaholic part of me went into high gear, and I went for it, and I made it. So this last Monday, a week ago, I was up there and set up the gallery. This gallery is available for any of you in that area, or anybody traveling through that area. You can go and visit. You do have to vet in. There is a computer there. You have to answer some questions, type your name in, and answer some questions, and then it prints you out a badge for the day or for however long. I'm not sure that you put on your outside of your clothing. It gives you permission to be in there. It's where the office is, and there's a Bristow or some kind of a little restaurant there in the art gallery, plus access to the retirement community of people who live in that apartment building right there. So you're welcome to go and check it out. It's open, I forget, is it from 9 to 4 or 5? I forget. You'd want to check on their website ahead of time if you were going to go. There is an eclectic set of my photos, stuff that I've collected over the last several years, probably close to 20, and subject matter include one of my favorite, which is sheep and shepherds. So there's a lot of sheep and shepherd photos there. Another one of my favorite collections is Amish and Mennonite stuff, and you'll see a fair bit of that. Others would be like nature, the world, from some of my travels. Yeah, that nature, yeah, that kind of gives you in a nutshell some of the kind of subject matters that I have in that set of prints there. And the last thing I wanted to just mention again, I used the word blessings, and I just wanted to say I feel very, very blessed. You know, this retirement, we would have never planned to make a move down to Virginia to the farm and then have to move again. But we had to make a move, and in that move, I feel very blessed. I feel very, very blessed, and just so many people along the way that have helped us in many, many ways, whether it's been Pastor Claire or others from the church, Phil or Xavier, and others. I mean, I hate to name names because I'll miss people, but people I used to work with who have called to see how I'm doing or sent me a text to see how I'm doing. Yeah, there's just been so many, and we just feel really blessed. I feel extremely blessed, and we really enjoy, I'm really enjoying my life and having a great time, and my days and weeks fly by. So, and Kendra is getting more and more adjusted, and she's enjoying it more, and she enjoys living where we're at right now. So feel very blessed. I hope you all feel blessed, and if you don't, blessings to you. Thanks for watching. Bye.